The other ghosts, who didn't have decent tools to offer, just infused a bit of their yin origin energy into the skull necklace. After receiving so much yin energy, Yulin felt like a river flowing with power and strength within him. He thanked everyone for giving him such precious gifts. All the ghosts, with big smiles on their faces, responded, "You're more than welcome." Meanwhile, Miss Lee was surprised to see that these ghosts were more obsequious than the underlings who sent her dad paintings and calligraphy. Is this really the global menace? She wondered. Later, they closed the inn. The bookkeeper thanked Yulin, because today's turnover was over 5 times higher than usual. Meanwhile, Yulin was staring outside, observing the environment. He realized why those ghosts had to make a hasty retreat before nightfall. With the dwindling yin energy outside, it's unsafe to roam around. Suddenly, he heard the lady boss's voice saying, "The day shift is over for today. Come to the lobby and get ready to eat, everyone." Yulin realized that they were about to meet the other ghosts in the inn. However, he knew they might not be as amenable as the bookkeeper. Meanwhile, Miss Lee wondered how everyone else did today. But suddenly, a blood text appeared in front of Yulin and Miss Lee. Both of them were really shocked to see that there are only 4 players remaining in the dungeon now. It's only the first day, but 2 people have already died. The dungeon survival rate in Global Menace is abysmally low. Thanks to the nether tokens, Yulin is safe for now. But if he had been slightly slower, he could have lost an arm just now. And those friendly and flattering ghosts would have racked their brains to hang him up if he hadn't treated them to some grub. The upside is that, along with the foreign object nether tokens, he wonders if there's something inside him that can protect him. The bookkeeper explained that they're going to eat here later. It's a tradition at the Underworld Inn. But suddenly, a voice from behind him said, "Why the heck are you being all polite and courteous to a little munchkin?" This is another ghost who works at the Underworld Inn, and the purple-haired girl we saw at the beginning is with that female ghost. But she is in really bad shape. Miss Lee and Yulin were really surprised and wondered what happened to her. And she's not with the yellow-haired guy, they noted. After seeing Yulin and Miss Lee in perfect shape, the purple-haired girl asked, "How come you're still in one piece?" Upon closer inspection, they saw she had many scratches on her body. However, she was really jealous after seeing both of them in pristine condition. Out of fear, she sat in a corner. Yulin, after seeing the purple-haired girl, realized that she was really jealous of them. However, he didn't care, because he knew she wasn't capable of hurting him. But suddenly, he noticed that the staff at the Underworld Inn don't seem to get along very well. The bookkeeper and the female ghost were fighting each other. The bookkeeper said to the female ghost, "What do you know, you stupid cow? You may enjoy tormenting your helpers, but I have to accumulate merits." Then the female ghost turned toward Yulin and asked, "Hey you, busboy, why aren't you clearing the table? Are you trying to skip out on your duties? Since the bookkeeper is such a wimp, I'll step in and show you the ropes at Underworld Inn." Then she started attacking Yulin. The purple-haired girl began smiling, thinking, finally they will feel the same things I feel. However, Miss Lee was worried about Yulin. But as the female ghost attacked Yulin, a protective shield covered his entire body and saved him. The skull necklace, given to him by a ghost as a gesture of goodwill, saved his life. However, the female ghost, after seeing the yin energy tool, became really scared and quickly retreated. Yulin smiled and thought, just as I expected, with her third-rate tormenting tricks, she's nowhere near the ghost general level. The female ghost was really surprised to see that Yulin had a Class B tool of yin energy as a trump card. Realizing she was no match for Yulin's Class B tool, she sat on a table peacefully. However, Yulin knew that she now harbored a grudge against him. Given the opportunity, she would kill him without question. He survived today because those ghosts didn't know his real strength. He realized that if he couldn't take out Mrs. Zhang, the female ghost, he feared the bookkeeper and even the boss in the shadows would see that his strength was just a facade. By then, the treasure within him would be his downfall. He thought that he must find a way to get rid of this female ghost. Suddenly, everyone heard a sound. Then, they saw another powerful ghost approaching them. Both the bookkeeper and the female ghost were really scared of him. Yulin, after seeing him, thought, this man must be the cook. Judging by his spiritual awareness, I guess he must be more powerful than Mrs. Zhang. The old ghost asked the man in the green jacket to put the pot on the table. This man was the one they had seen at the beginning, who had already cleared 2 beta test games. However, Yulin was surprised to see that he had lost his left hand. The old ghost asked everyone to dig in, but after seeing the food, everyone was really surprised, wondering what kind of food it was. The chef ghost approached the purple-haired girl and asked if she didn't like his food. The purple-haired girl, scared, said, "No, I like it," because if she said she didn't like it, he would kill her. He was really happy after hearing this and encouraged everyone to eat. Yulin asked the man whose hand had been cut to sit next to him. While the chef ghost sat at another table with his drink, Yulin realized that apparently questioning the cook's skill and not eating his food would activate the condition for him to kill. As the chef ghost poured his liquor into the cup started crying, saying the liquor was so sour and bitter. However, the chef ghost told it to shut up and started drinking. Suddenly, after seeing the chef ghost, Yulin got a great idea. When the chef ghost noticed that Yulin wasn't eating his food, he asked why he wasn't eating and questioned if he didn't like his food. Yulin smiled and stood up from his seat, taking the drink cup from Chef Ghost's hands. "Sipping on that harsh booze must be quite the challenge for your taste buds," he said, then threw the drink on the ground. Everyone was shocked, wondering, does he have a death wish or something? That little jerk? Upon seeing this, a female ghost thought, "Now I don't have to get my hands dirty. His necklace can't do squat against that horrendous fellow." Miss Lee was also surprised, wondering why Yulin did this, especially since the cook's expression showed he disliked the liquor. Chef Ghost, angered, asked Yulin if he was trying to provoke him. However, before Chef Ghost could attack, Yulin took out the soul purification liquor from his storage and said, "How could I? Your cooking is excellent, so you must have the palate of champions. I can't bear to watch you swallow this terrible wine." He poured the soul purification liquor into a cup and offered it to Chef Ghost, asking him to try some. Boli also got excited because of the soul purification liquor. After seeing Yulin's gesture, Chef Ghost thought, if anyone else dared to provoke me, I'd give him a good old slap across the face. But he's right. Compared to the watered-down booze at the inn, his liquor is top-notch. He sat on the branch and decided, I'll give it a shot then. As he drank, his whole body relaxed, as if he were taking a massage in a hot spring. The yin energy is so pure that it not only purifies his soul, but also amplifies his strength. He is really satisfied with this drink. Yulin knows nothing works better than soul purification liquor to bribe him. So Yulin offers him another bowl of soul purification liquor. As he drinks another bowl, his body becomes lighter and his head clearer, exclaiming, "This is divine liquid." Yulin, seeing Chef Ghost like this, thought simply, seeing my empty bottle, he shifted from guzzling to sipping, to savor every drop. It seems that the liquor is more effective than I gave it credit for. So he asked the system to get him another bottle. Chef Ghost was surprised to see that Yulin had more of this amazing hooch. Yulin gave the drinks to Chef Ghost, who thanked him and called him brother. Everyone was surprised to see this. The bookkeeper and female ghost were both in great shock, thinking, how could he call that rascal brother? The female ghost realized that she had to kill Yulin. He's only a human. How can he be compared with a ghost? Meanwhile, Yulin used this opportunity to rid himself of the female ghost. He said to Chef Ghost with a sad face, "It's a shame." After seeing Yulin's sad face, Chef Ghost asked him why. "We've got this top-shelf booze, after all," Yulin explained. "You can't savor the full flavor of this liquor if you have it alone. If only we had food to go with it." Chef Ghost agreed with Yulin, got his sword, and said, "I'll whip up some nourishing grub right now." But Yulin told him with a sad face, "I know you're a good cook, but those second-rate ingredients can't do justice to your culinary skills. And how can the yin energy of humans surpass that of ghosts?" The female ghost realized that Yulin was targeting her. Yulin turned his head toward the female ghost and smiled, saying, "Making ghosts the ingredients. Sounds nice, right?" After hearing this, Chef Ghost stood up from his seat and said, "You bet your ass it does. Brother, why have our paths only crossed now?" He glared at the bookkeeper and female ghost. The female ghost became really scared and asked Chef Ghost, "What are you doing? I've never offended you. We all work for the inn. You can't break the rules." Upon hearing about the rules, Yulin realized that the native ghosts in Global Menace must obey the rules for killing humans and ghosts. The bookkeeper took advantage of the opportunity and blamed the female ghost, asking her, "Didn't you forget that you attacked my brother earlier? You stirred the pot for nothing and overstepped your authority with your helper. You broke the rules at the Underworld Inn first." However, she tried to defend herself, saying, "You're just making things up to get back at me. But she lost her patience and attacked the bookkeeper. Chef Ghost stopped her with his sword and smashed her into the wall. In severe pain, the female ghost called out to Chef Ghost, "Jiangju! Even if the boss put him in charge, he shouldn't be able to kill like this." However, Jiangju explained, "The rule at the Underworld Inn is not to mess with the staff during mealtime." But she broke the rules first. And this fellow is a hard-working, friendly, and excellent employee. "That adds up to more guilt," he exclaimed. As he spoke, he pulled out his sword and killed the female ghost. Yulin, unable to believe his eyes, watched as the cook dispatched her in one stroke. As he retrieved the body of the female ghost, he asked Yulin to save the booze for him, saying he was going to take care of the ingredients. Witnessing this, Yulin realized that the cook was much stronger than he thought, and he could relax tonight without worrying about Mrs. Jiang's female ghost surprise attack. However, he also realized that the bookkeeper was obviously using Mrs. Jiang to test him. So he approached the bookkeeper and retrieved liquor from his storage, saying, "Mr. Li, thanks for looking out for me today. May I offer you a toast?" He thought he had to seize this chance to make an example so that he would never try to test him again. Meanwhile, the bookkeeper, very scared, thought, "This kid not only has a lot of money, but he's also scheming enough to manipulate the cook into offing Mrs. Jiang. From his expression, I'm positive he's seen through my trick. What should I do if he tells Jiang that the food isn't enough? If he drinks the liquor, he'll definitely be in trouble when the cook returns. But he'll also be in trouble if he turns down his toast, even though he has more than one jar of this liquor." Suddenly, he had a great idea. He could give him his treasure. That's what happened earlier today. Yulin made toasts, and the ghosts gave him treasures in return. He might be rich, but he doesn't seem to turn down gifts from others. So he retrieved a mysterious green wooden block and offered it to Yulin, saying, "Years ago, I once stumbled upon something." Yulin smiled, seeing that the bookkeeper was already terrified of him. The bookkeeper explained that it's called petrified wood, an excellent material for crafting tools of yin energy. This chunk of petrified wood is top-tier material, over 1,000 years old. Its value is no less than that of a Class A yin energy tool, he added. The system also recognized this 1,000-year-old petrified wood. Yulin realized that this was truly extraordinary. Now, he didn't have to worry about completing his consumption task. Yulin smiled and said, "It's indeed good stuff, Li. How much are you selling it for?" The bookkeeper spoke in a trembling voice. "How can I dare ask for money for a gift? Please just take it." However, Yulin wanted to take this opportunity to spend some money. He said to the bookkeeper, "That won't do. I'm a man of principle. How could I take something so precious from you for nothing?" Surprised, the bookkeeper wondered if this was the rule for Mr. Lin to survive in this world. In this world, rules must be obeyed in order to live or kill. However, revealing this is a taboo. You can guess and avoid it, but if you ask him directly, you'll offend him and appear threatening. So he asked Yulin to just give him a number. Yulin got 3 threads of copper coins and gave them to the bookkeeper. Shocked, the bookkeeper said, "This isn't trading a treasure for my life." He became really happy, thinking, "This is my lucky break. With these 3 threads of copper coins, I can wrap up my contract with the boss, a whole 10 years ahead of schedule." He knelt down in front of Yulin, saying, "Thank you for giving me a second chance to live." Everyone was really shocked to see this unimaginable scene. Miss Li was really happy, thinking Yulin is truly amazing. Other players were also surprised, wondering how this new player could actually make a wrathful ghost kowtow to him. Suddenly, an old man thought, could it be that he's from one of the great exorcist families? Just then, a system notification popped up saying, "Spend over 30,000 nether tokens at one time. Congratulations on successfully completing Task 2. Splurge your money. The reward, Ghost Contract, Primo, has been released." Yulin was really happy to see that reward. With the Ghost Contract, he would be able to command ghosts to fight for him. The Ghost Contract, Primo, stated, "Upon signing the ghost contract, the ghost becomes available for use regardless of the user's level. The ghost will exhibit unwavering loyalty and obedience while remaining unable to betray the user. This contract is valid for the duration of the user's lifetime." After reading the description, Yulin realized that the Primo Ghost contract was indeed different, because ordinary contracts couldn't achieve this worry-free result. As he saw the bookkeeper, he thought, "I can't waste a good thing like that on a wimpy ghost like him." He dismissed the bookkeeper and thought, "If I get the chance, I'd better use this opportunity on a high-level ghost." Meanwhile, Chef Ghost had also finished making the dish with ghosts. He served the dishes in front of Yulin and said, "It's my first time cooking this, though. I'm not sure what it tastes like. But come and have a try, buddy." As Yulin began to eat, he thought, he really knows his stuff. I can't see what the ingredients are, but with yin energy in it, it's undoubtedly a booster for both ghosts and ghost commanders. As he ate, a system notification suddenly popped up. Wrathful Ghost Essence consumed. Spiritual Force +1. Yulin was amazed to realize that ghost meat really does boost his spiritual force. Turning his head toward Chef Ghost, Yulin said, "The food you make is really delicious. It's not only tasty, but also nutritious and hygienic." Chef Ghost was really happy to see that Yulin liked the food he made. Both of them cheered and started eating. As Yulin consumed Wrathful Ghost Essence, his spiritual awareness began increasing. After finishing his food, Yulin was satisfied. Just one meal, and his spiritual force skyrocketed to 197. Meanwhile, Chef Ghost also got drunk. Upon seeing Chef Ghost, Yulin thought, this guy was supposed to be the biggest threat in this dungeon. Who would have thought I'd get this windfall after getting him hooked on soul purification liquor? Suddenly, the boss lady announced that mealtime was over and asked the bookkeeper to take everyone to rest. Upon hearing this, Chef Ghost was really disappointed, saying, "Too bad, buddy. I guess that's all for today." As he started going to his room, Yulin told him that he would meet him tomorrow. However, Yulin noticed that Chef Ghost doesn't seem as terrified of the boss as the bookkeeper does. The bookkeeper asked everyone to clean up the table and go to their rooms. Yulin, smiling, thought he should also help everyone clean up. However, before he could start, the boss lady asked Yulin to meet her on the 3rd floor. Yulin was shocked that the boss lady could communicate with him directly, wondering if she was somehow linked with his mind. However, Yulin realized one thing. To protect himself, he could only splurge money in this dungeon. Just as he thought, he had caught the lady boss's attention. She must be the final boss of this dungeon. He wondered what awaited him upstairs. Would it be good or bad? Moments later, he reached the room where the boss lady was. As he entered the room, he saw a beautiful lady sitting on the bed. Surprised, he realized she was the lady boss of the Underworld Inn. He took a deep breath, thinking she couldn't kill him right away, given the rules here. Gathering courage, he started walking toward the lady boss and asked her why she had brought him here. The lady boss replied, "Your presence has graced my establishment, yet my eyes played tricks on me, so I sent you to wait on customers. I hope you won't blame me for that, Mr. Lin." Surprised, Yulin couldn't believe that the lady boss of the Underworld Inn was apologizing to him. Yulin told the lady boss that she didn't have to worry, as he could gain more life experience that way. However, he realized that this woman was a more powerful, wrathful ghost than Jiang, and she was not as simple-minded. He knew she must never discover his secret. The lady boss smiled, saying he could experience life all he wanted, but his actions had taken a toll on her business. However, Yulin replied that he had paid her 10 times more for the broken dishes. Yet, the lady boss was not satisfied with this amount. To her, it was just peanuts. What mattered more was Mrs. Zhang, who had served her for over 100 years before her death. Upon hearing this, Yulin tried to explain, "It's indeed a shame that the cook dealt with her like that. But I'm just a new waiter here. It wasn't my place to intervene when the 2 senior staff started fighting for no reason." The lady boss became really angry with Yulin, saying, "No matter how rich you are or why you came to the Underworld Inn, I won't go easy on you for inciting a fight among my people, which killed one of my staff." Yulin smiled and asked the lady boss what she wanted. The lady boss explained that Mrs. Zhang was the beating heart of this inn, and her business couldn't thrive without her, so he must pay for shattering her soul. She asked for compensation. Yulin laughed, thinking it was money she was after, so he asked the lady boss how much she thought was appropriate. After a moment, she asked for 20 threads of copper coins, but then suddenly increased the amount to 50 threads. Disappointed, Yulin thought that the biggest number she could think of was 50 threads, equating a wrathful ghost's worth to 500 teapots. So he asked the system to use his cash card. Suddenly, a system notification popped up saying, "Cash card used. Your next consumption will generate 10 times the money you spend." And the next moment, it started raining money. He said to the lady boss that he would give her 100 threads of copper coins, and from now on, the cook would work for him. What do you say? The lady boss was shocked to see so much money, thinking, "This young man is so rich that he wants to buy my cook?" However, Yulin noticed that these wrathful ghosts were mere money-making tools for her. And he could see that Jiang wasn't happy here. Jiang was a complete powerhouse, simple and straightforward. And Yulin could use the Primo Ghost contract with him regardless of their level difference. This was the best choice for Jiang, himself, and even the lady boss. The lady boss, surprised, thought, "I can't believe he set his sights on that klutz from the depths. But as strong as he is, he's nothing more than a cook to him." She wondered if she could sell him. So she explained that the cook had been working for her for years, and that she couldn't run an inn without a cook. Therefore, she asked Yulin to pay more. Yulin smiled and asked the system to cash out 1 million nether tokens. He then told the lady boss that he would give her another 100 threads of copper coins. She was really happy to see so much money and agreed with Yulin. She took out the contract from her drawer and handed it to Yulin. The contract read, "I, Jiangju, willingly volunteer to work for the owner of the Underworld Inn. This contract shall become null and void when I successfully earn 1 million threads of copper coins of yin energy for the Underworld Inn." Yulin, disappointed, thought to himself, Jiang's true value is 150 threads of copper coins. Yet, on the contract, he has to earn her 1 million threads, which is tens of millions of nether tokens. Since the priciest dish here is only 100 copper coins, Jiang's freedom is just empty talk. He smiled and thought, "I'll never make empty promises. That's right, I'll just make the contract permanent." The lady boss explained to Yulin that all he had to do was destroy this contract, and then the cook would be free. But she warned him, saying she couldn't guarantee he would make a new contract with him. However, Yulin replied that she didn't have to worry about that. He'd figured out a way. Suddenly, Yulin stopped and asked the lady boss, "If I were to sign a contract with you, or buy the whole inn, how much would you charge me?" Upon hearing this, the lady boss replied that the Underworld Inn and she were not for sale. She apologized for disappointing him. Yulin realized that, in Global Menace, money can't buy everything. He thanked the lady boss and started walking out of the room. Meanwhile, the lady boss, disappointed, thought, "What a quitter. Why didn't he insist a bit more? Maybe I would have agreed. Whatever, I have a hunch I'll see him again," she mused. Moments later, Yulin reached the room where other players were resting. Miss Lee was really happy to see Yulin again. However, others were not that happy. The purple-haired girl thought, "I can't let my guard down. This guy's just as scary as a ghost." Yulin told everyone that he had just made some deals with the lady boss of the inn. Shocked, everyone thought, not only can he get along with the cook, but he also gets treated like an equal by the lady boss? The old man asked Yulin, "According to the instructions I've received, you should be a newbie. Are you from a hermit family?" Yulin sat down and explained that he was not from a hermit family. He had just come across some unique experiences and learned some skills. The old man realized that such people actually exist. He'd only heard about them on the forum. Yulin asked the old man if the closed beta testers of this game have a forum for chatting. The old man said yes. That's what he planned to tell them all. He asked if they all knew about the government's newly established No. 9 Investigation Center. Miss Lee replied that she'd heard some rumors and asked if it was really set up for global menace. The old man confirmed it and explained that they could call Center No. 9 when they're out, and an officer would contact them afterward. The officer would provide players with some help, like information and channels, to exchange tools of yin energy. But in return, their identity would be recorded by the state, and they'd be obligated to report what they've seen and heard in the game. Basically, they'd be an unofficial agent. The old man was already one, just like many others. After all, if you become a formal ghost commander and contract your own ghost, you have a chance of becoming an official agent. Then you can team up with other official agents, which increases your survival rate in the game big time. Yulin asked if they would have to enter the game regularly in the future. The old man said yes. Every 2 weeks, players would be summoned into the game at midnight. He'd heard that some skilled players would pay a certain price to come in as extras because, as you know, as treacherous as the dungeon may be, it's chock full of golden opportunities. Yulin asked, besides the number 9 investigation center, if they could also interact with other Global Menace players on the forum. The old man said yes. It's an anonymous website run by a high-level ghost commander. Yulin, curious, asked why it was anonymous. The old man explained that one of the rules of Global Menace is that after you leave the dungeon and return to reality, others won't be able to recall what you look like. So the government prepared the forum as a buffer for players who don't wish to expose their identities. The old man asked if anyone had more questions. Everyone said no and went to sleep. Meanwhile, Yulin asked the system to open the system panel. The notification popped up. The cash card has taken effect. You spent 2 million nether tokens last time. The random cashback is 5 times the money you spent. Congratulations on acquiring 10 million nether tokens. He smiled and asked the system, "What's the new task?" Task 3. Keep splurging. In progress. Content. Spend money on 3 objects whose individual value exceeds 100,000 nether tokens, with a premium of 5 times the true value. You are not allowed to raise the price by yourself. 03. Reward. Cash card, X1, Yin Origin Extract, X5, Soul Restraining Talisman, X10, Soul Crushing Talisman, X10.